Welcome back to the Star Trek Critic, where each episode is graded like a school project, starting with 100 points. Then we rip it to shreds and take points away for plot holes, continuity errors, bad decisions, and just about anything else, of course. Today's episode is Wolf in the Fold, an excellent science fiction murder mystery. Spoiler alert, we will finally learn what happened to Jack the Ripper. According to the stardate, this episode happens just a week before Obsession, but aired a week after. This is Kara. You can tell she's an alien because she has no belly button. The music is the same that Vina danced to, since 300 years from now it is the only authorized belly dancing music. Her dancing is pretty racy for 60s standards, so what they do is cut back and forth between Kirk and the other actors. Argelius is a pleasure planet. I hope they use condoms here, but that was something you don't talk about on 60s TV. So pleasure planets could exist in the future, and yes, they would cater to passing starships. But no, you would not go into one of these establishments in uniform. That uniform is provided by taxpayer money, and one cell phone posted on the internet will give all of Starfleet a bad name. So, -1 point for Kirk, McCoy, and Scotty going to a pleasure house in uniform. Scotty's pickup line is to boast about the fog in Aberdeen, and now he's going to boast about the size of his fog. Kirk and McCoy both do the Picard maneuver. The next point is lost because of the backstory. Scotty was injured by an accident caused by a female on the ship, so he now has a resentment towards women, and McCoy's prescription is for him to get laid. So that storyline just doesn't stand the test of time. And now Kirk wants to get laid. That's just tacky, they didn't get injured. Look closely, here is a man in a cadet shirt with a blonde, and now they are walking outside, so -1 point for extras being in two places at once. And if the fog is getting thicker, it means...
And Leon's getting larger.
When they find the place, McCoy has to pose like Peter Pan.
He's dead, Jim.
So I don't think he'll take a girl on a walk in the fog anymore. Here's the investigator, Mr. Hengist from Rigel 4. Seriously, how many planets are there in the Rigel system? Or is it a collection of systems? And aren't some of those planets pleasure planets as well? Please leave your comments on that below. And Mr. Hengist loses the next point for having his grubby little hands all over the knife. He knows you're not supposed to do that. He even says only Scotty's fingerprints are on it. Why was Scotty walking the fog? I think this is the first time they bring up that a ship has to follow the rules of the planet it is orbiting. It happened in Taste of Armageddon, but they were being jerks on that planet, and you see a lot in the Next Generation. Mr. Hengist isn't really that optimistic, is he? And the prefect Jarrus says the law of the land is love, but the penalty for murder is death by slow torture. That's not love. And her name is pronounced Sibo, but she really shouldn't say that on public TV. Did you ever feel like Hengist's method of operation is just to annoy everyone into thinking he's right? But the prefect pulls rank and invites them to his house where his empathic wife can hold a seance. Just what is a psycho tricorder? I didn't know tricorders could lose their minds. Kirk must be psycho because it's not really his wife. And then the prefect talks about quadrants in space. Just how big is a quadrant? This is definitely foreshadowing. Whoever wrote this episode definitely has read murder mysteries. Tracy beams down, and Hengist waits for a second so he can check her out. She smiles, and look at that, there he goes. Scotty saw that, and now he's got to let out a fart. The next point is lost for Tracy beaming down alone. There should have been a witness along, considering how touchy the situation is. You'll only see it for a split second, but Hengist does not have the knife in his hand. It might be in his pocket though. The Argelians are a rather innocent people. They know nothing about safes. The next point is lost since Tracy's tunic is too short. The world doesn't need to know that she was wearing blue underwear when she died. Sibo manipulates the fire. She might be a phoenix. That's 2 now, and poor Scotty is screwed. This is Kirk politely saying, Scotty, you're screwed now. Hengist actually shows up with alibis. We don't know how long they've really been gone.
There has been another murder.
Why yes, it is terrible, isn't it? Does this look familiar to you?
I am innocent!
Yo soy inocente!
I don't know about you, but this would be a good time to search everyone for that knife. Is he referring to mental facilities? Because he's kind of out of it. And this is Tark, her father. This is Morla, who has the hots for her, but was overcome with jealousy. So, where was he last night?
I'll be rolling the dice.
They really don't like jealousy on this planet, and now he's a suspect. This is actually a good thing to save somebody. Sibo is ready. Kirk asks for the room to be sealed.
Room is sealed.
Scotty is very nervous. He's worried about the spooky mumbo jumbo. Spock shows a logical concern over the spooky mumbo jumbo. And Kirk says, their planet, their rules. This is one of the few times where he doesn't break the Prime Directive. Spock's like, we've never done that before. They hold a seance on the Stargate. That's odd. I just watched a seance earlier today on Dark Shadows.
Concentrate upon the flame which burns upon the altar of truth. It has a name.
I don't know if they're recording this or not, but it is possible they weren't allowed to record the seance. The next point is lost here, since Scotty says he was pushed aside this time, so why is there blood on his hands? Hengist is incredibly quick to place the blame on someone else. He must be a liberal. Kirk says the ship's computer will find out the truth, and thankfully the prefect says okay. The trial begins. Hengist looks like he wants to leave. I wonder why. The computer already makes a mistake. His present condition is not working. He is on trial. This is where Scotty explains something pushed him out of the way. But -1 point, since this is not his hand. James Doohan lost one of his fingers in World War II, but I guess you aren't allowed to miss fingers in the future. McCoy remembered what she said. This is odd. Spock says, check the linguistics banks for those words, and the computer comes up dry. Then he says, check the other banks, and the computer finds those words in the English linguistics bank. I guess the computer really wasn't working that hard and tried to blow off Spock. It looks like Hengist is plotting something. He's ready to discredit the computer. Tark says a man couldn't live that long, and Kirk also says Jack the Ripper couldn't be alive if he was a man, so that means he must be a woman, right? No! Here comes the whopping revelation from Spock. He says, vegetarians feed on death. So soon the vegetarians will protest Star Trek. Yes! William Shatner takes his time to think about himself. Read this phrase carefully. Does it mean that they eat each other during sex? Hengist continues to say this is all fake news. Spock concludes the creature feeds on fear and women are more easily terrified. And the human is thinking, Spock, you're an asshole. In a nutshell, the computer lists a trail of similar mass murders ending at Rigel 4. And of course Hengist says, no, it wasn't me. Here is where the episode title comes out, since Spock says an investigator on a peaceful planet is like a wolf in the fold. For as cunning as he is, you'd think he would know not to bring his own knife. The next point is lost for an obvious stunt double. And the struggle was too much for him and killed him. Here are some cool special effects with Red Jack taking over the ship. Now the goal is to make sure the crew isn't scared of this thing, or so it doesn't take over them. Fear and terror are the names of the Martian moon. The cure is to give everybody a happy tranquilizer. Yes! This extra in the background already looks a little happy. The next point is lost because you can't have free fall in space. They always worry about life support. They'll have plenty of oxygen, unless Red Jack vents all the air into space. That's something they really need to worry about. That's what Lorena Bobbitt said. Sulu got the happy shot. And seriously, he is really out there. The computer is too vast. This one calculation wouldn't distract it enough, so -1 point. The next point is lost for not moving Hengist's body to sickbay. McCoy's not too concerned if it invades a body. Kirk has Bones inject himself first, then he does Jarrus. This is a plot device, so Kirk can fight Jarrus, so -1 more point. Jarrus is now possessed, but then it goes back into Hengist's dead body, which they are able to tranquilize and carry to the transporter. Is that the same girl from earlier? She really is high. They're actually very lucky Red Jack can't get out of a body when it's tranquilized. So they scattered his atoms all over space. Of course, this creature might be able to put itself back together, but that was a risk they were willing to take. And for the next 6 hours, they are going to be the happiest crew in Starfleet. But Spock and Kirk both know they can't leave the ship in this condition just to get laid, so -1 more point. And there she is again. She wanders around a lot. But this time I can't take a point because they're supposed to be drugged. So, who were the Argelians? Judy Shervin played the nurse. She's happy because she wasn't the nurse that got stabbed to death. Judith McConnell was Miss Pennsylvania in 1965. She has 50 screen credits to her name, including Green Acres and a 10-year stint on Santa Barbara. We will see John Weston 2 more times and in Star Trek II. Virginia Aldridge did some acting and screenwriting. Joseph Bernard has 60 screen credits to his name, including Mission Impossible. Charles Dierkamp has over 100 screen credits to his name, including The Andy Griffith Show and the movie The Sting. Charles Macaulay was Landrew in Return of the Archons and played the President in Splash. Tanya Leimani was born in Iran. She has 40 screen credits and is very skilled at belly dancing, as you got to see. Pilar Surat was born in the Philippines, has 40 screen credits, but lung cancer took her from us at the age of 62. And John Fielder served in the Navy in World War II, played 6 different roles on Bewitched, has nearly 200 screen and voice acting credits. After he was accused of being Jack the Ripper, he went into therapy on the Bob Newhart Show, then did tons of voiceovers for tons of Disney animated characters, most notably Piglet, which means, you guessed it, Piglet is Jack the Ripper. And the Star Trek murder mystery gets a score of 86%. That's it for now. Thanks for viewing. Be sure to check out my other videos and playlists, and click the like button, the share button, and that subscribe button. And before you go, check out some famous quotes by Red Jack.